All right, we're back here with episode 37 of the GameFi Rundown. We have Jimberino as always, and we have a brand new guest here, Jesus. Jesus, how you doing? I'm glad to have you
I'm
on.
good. I'm fucking excited that I was battling traffic, getting my sword out, threatening people just to get over here. So it's got to be a good show. It has to be.
It's going to be a great one. We got a nice rundown going on here. This is probably the least Illuvium rundown I've put together. But before we get into it, there was a little bit of breaking news in Illuvium this morning, so I just want to get your quick thoughts on that. Grant, one of the co-founders, one of the three co-founders, the brothers, Grant Warwick,
This thing.
he is stepping down, or we really don't know too much details about this, but looks like he's no longer going to be with Illuvium. So, Jimberino, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, he did just recently, like a couple minutes ago, he went deeper into explanation on what exactly went down. Apparently there was some just a lot of issues with him on how to deal with the workload, and it looks like he set up the team to be in a position where they can work without him. I'm sure that was a plan for a long time. He's had a lot of stress, and then I know
He's been
him and
hinting
Kieran, him and Kieran were getting into it a little bit because of some of the things that were going on. Just when you're running a business, things can get really heated, and there can be stress thrown around. And this was all stuff that he was like stating in the comment that he just had. So I'm not like releasing some secret about their family getting into fights or anything, but.
And Jesus, just like you said, he was like hinting at it. Like, this really didn't come as a surprise to me. Like, I almost saw it coming, but I feel like a lot of people were pretty shocked by it. But I mean, what do you mean by he was hinting at it?
Yeah, I mean, I had him on the channel, I think it's been 2 months at this point, and he had a lot of energy, but it was quite obvious that he was a little bit stressed, just a little bit stressed.
Mhm.
And he talked about how he had kind of moved away a little bit and how their new designers were taking over and how he was kind of not doing that anymore. I don't know what he was doing right before he left, but all I know is he wasn't designing the creatures anymore. Some guy with an R was doing it. And then he was saying, oh, that guy is getting more and more responsibility. I'm taking a bit of a backseater, still doing my thing, but a little bit more on the PR front. And that's why he was there. So it made sense, but it was obvious that in terms of that role, he didn't want to do it anymore, which is like, I get like that all the time. So I understand.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I don't want to drag too much on this. Like, it's a little sad to see him go. I like the whole idea of the three brothers, sticking it out. Like, I made one tweet about, like, I can't wait to see this in the documentary, the Warwick documentary that might come out on Netflix. Let's see about that. But yeah, sad to see him go. I don't think Illuvium will be affected. I think they'll be good.
Yeah, it doesn't change anything.
No, I don't think so. Some people were worried. I'm not worried. All right, so the first actual segment of this rundown, I wanted to talk a little bit about creator rewards, because Illuvium just announced their creator rewards program. Yeah, so Illuvium announced their creator rewards program where they're giving out 100 ILV per week to creators and streamers. And then I just saw this today, Mavia, which is another big game that I think we're going to talk about a little bit more later in this show. They have a creators program where if you refer people to Mavia, you're going to get 20% commission on all the in-app purchases.
Oh, wow.
And that's pretty massive.
That's kind of crazy. In-app purchases?
It is crazy, right?
Wow.
Yeah. Have you seen that yet? Or is this the first time?
No. Usually it's commission on NFT sales or something blockchain related, but in-app purchases, especially with what Apple's taking, I think they're taking a 30% cut. That's going to be interesting. I mean, they're taking 50% profits at that point, and they have to pay all these employees. So it's going to be interesting. They're very confident in getting a lot of people spending.
Yeah. I wonder if that, now that you say that, if that 20% is after Apple takes their 30.
That's a good question. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, yeah, they're saying it's on their Sapphire token, which is basically like if you played Clash of Clans, I don't really know exactly what it was, but whatever
Gems,
you would
yeah.
use to gems, whatever you would use to speed up your building times, that's what their version of Sapphire is. So
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, if somebody's going in there spending maybe if they're just doing $10 a month just to get some of these to speed things up, that's $2 in your pocket. And then you multiply that by like 100 if you're a bigger creator getting a lot of people in. That could be massive for us and other creators. Jimbo, what do you think about these?
I mean, 20% is a lot, right? Like, that's not anything to scoff at, especially if you're like a creator, especially as a small creator. You get a bunch of your like hardcore fans to start using your code or whatever, you're actually making some money now. I mean, I think these games need to be supporting their creators, not because I saw someone on Twitter post something like, "Oh, these game companies need to support their creators because they deserve it." It's like, no, they don't deserve it. It just makes sense. Like, if you only get good benefits from supporting the people who support your project. That's just how it is, and that's the way I see it. And I think, I mean, it makes sense to see these things coming out, and yeah, I think it's going to be a huge deal for them.
Yeah, and for Illuvium, it works a little different. You're not getting like a percent cut. Basically, right
Yeah.
now they just have a link that they're giving out to creators, and by like clicking in that link and interacting with the website, or if you sign up, I'm not exactly sure how it's going to work behind the scenes. But speaking of that, I do have a link I'll put down below. Jimbo, do you have a link?
I do have a link.
I'll
Don't worry
put
about
yours
it.
down below. What about you, Jesus? Are you in there? Do you have a link?
Yeah,
there
I have
for
a
Illuvium?
link.
All right, I'm gonna put all
Everybody
three of
has
our
a
links
link.
down below. This, you don't have to pick or choose. You can kind of click through all of them, do a little interactions. It's gonna help us all out.
Oh, interesting. It's not exclusive. Okay.
Yeah, no, I think it's unique clicks basically per week. So if you're watching it this episode and then the next episode, click again. It'll
Okay.
help us all out. Before we move on here, so this topic came up before I even saw the news from you about GALA, Jesus. But I don't know if you want to talk too much on that. But like, what happened? Because you were part of their creator program, and then I guess they don't like when you talk about coins and ROI or something like that.
I'm a little bit conflicted on it because this is kind of a GALA exclusive issue. I don't run into this issue with any of the other crypto gaming chains in regards to covering tokens. Because to me, right, if you're in crypto gaming, you're not in crypto gaming for just the gaming. You know, there is the crypto part of it that I don't want to go ahead and forget. Like, the reason I'm excited for Illuvium is because Illuvium is doing something a little bit different. Obviously, you know, they're trying to do something cool with the gameplay, but we're actually excited about the NFT integration and how all that's going to play out in the economy and how governance is cool and the DAO and all that, etc. That's what makes it unique and that's what makes it fun. And that's what most people are here for. Eventually, right? It's going to be seamless. We're just going to be playing the game. Probably won't even recognize the crypto part as adoption comes. But the real exciting part is being here before everyone else is here. And so what pretty much is happening is GALA's taking a hard stance against the crypto part. They just want to be known for the gaming part. So they're only having gaming creators there. From Bitbender's explanation, it seems like the reason is they think that there could be some kind of market manipulation because maybe we get an announcement and then we leak it out. But I've been there for, it feels like an entire year in that program and 2 years covering GALA. And in that entire time span, I think I've held a small amount of tokens and done absolutely nothing, right? Because that would be more than transparent. And trust me, Bitbender would love to say something like that. So I don't know. I'm a little bit confused. I think creator programs overall are very welcoming with tokens because at the end of the day, it's part of your economy. You shouldn't shy away from it. You should be proud of what you're doing. We're not doing anything bad. The only people that are doing things bad is the people over in CSGO land where you have to go to this third-party marketplace that you need a Chinese social security to get into. And then you get feed up the wazoo to go ahead and get this currency that is totally against the TOS. And you're supposed to only get Steam credits. It's awful. It's awful the way it works in the regular traditional gaming space. So to me, it's still a no-brainer. And it just changes nothing. It's just nothing about my crypto gaming conviction. It's BS. Nothing changes.
Yeah, I really don't get it either. I've made some videos on some GALA stuff, but I wouldn't even try to get into that program because, like you said, I'm here because this is different. This is Web3. This is the true ownership. There's the tokens involved. Like, I'm to a point in my life where I don't have time to just play games for no reason, for fun anymore. I want to play games and it have like meaning and value. I mean, that's just the way I see it. In my channel, I'm always going to be covering the Web3 side of these games. But yeah, thanks for that explanation. Like,
it makes sense,
to know,
yeah.
I guess.
And the thing with like Illuvium's creator program, which is a little bit interesting, is it feels it's very Web 2 centric because a lot of us Web 3 creators are very focused on the blockchain elements versus just onboarding people just straight into downloading the game, right? So I feel like creator programs at some point are going to be doing the ebb and flows of both situations, the Mavia situation combined with the ILV situation, where you're going to have this thing that's going to be a link where every unique download will be rewarded. We'll see it just like advertising marketing budget on Google ad spend. And then you're going to have the sales in game, the in-game app purchases or the NFT sales, which are going to have a different link or whatever they end up doing it. Maybe they'll combine both of them and have some cool data sheet for it, which is the cool thing about the blockchain. It's all transparent, so you can track all those things very easily. That's probably where we're headed. And that makes a lot of sense because it's not like we're asking for $1 million. At the end of the day, you should be making a bulk of your income not from these creator programs. These creator programs are just supplements to what you're doing already. And it's great to have that support, but it's not like we go around and it's like, I paid my rent this month just using GALA. I'm super happy. Or I went to ILV and I just got this creator reward. If I don't do well this month, I'm screwed. I'll be all right. And that's how it should be. It's just supporting the content creators. They're already making content on this. And, they're not in a state where they're spending millions of dollars. So they're like, let's try to give you something and we'll see where this goes.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, for Illuvium, it's a 12-week trial period, basically. And we'll get the data. We'll see how it works, see if it's helping Illuvium. But I know we're just speaking about Web 3. Let's move over to Web 2 for one quick segment, just because this has been such a hot topic here.
Okay.
Palworld or Palworld. I don't even know how you say it.
You haven't played it?
This guy's a boomer, bro.
Right?
Palworld. What the hell?
No, it's crazy because I have friends and my brother that I have been like trying to bring into the Web3 gaming community, and it's just like I get so much pushback. Not even because they're one of those people who just hate Web3 and games. They're just not that interested. And then all of a sudden, I'm getting text messages just like, "You playing Palworld? You should let's play together." And I'm just like,
"Bro, you gotta stop
calling it.
Come on." But yeah, admittedly, I haven't played this yet. I did tell my brother and some friends I might download it and play this weekend with them. Jimbo, I know you said you've been playing. What do you think so far?
I think the game is absolutely fantastic. It's missing a lot of stuff, but it has such a unique take on an already established game genre. I think it's absolutely phenomenal. I've had so much fun playing it, just absolutely, abusing my pals, throwing them, killing them, doing whatever. That's just the kind of person I am, and this game really helps bring that to light, and I'm loving every second of it.
It does look like a ton of fun.
It's so much
playing
fun.
it?
Oh, dude, I haven't played it at all. Too many meetings.
No?
Too many things to do. But it does look like Ark. It reminds me of a couple genres combined. It's complacency. That's the problem with Pokemon. These guys are too lazy. They got to make some actual gameplay. I am tired of getting my little Pokemon and doing these little predetermined moves. And it's like, oh my God, you missed or you hit someone. I want to just hit you in the face. I want to be able to target that guy and just throw the skill shot out and see if I can actually do it. Yeah, hyper casually, it makes sense where Pokemon's doing and why they continue to do it, but you got to spice it up sometimes. You have to spice it up. People are tired of the boring, mundane Pokemon games that keep coming out, and they run worse each time. I don't know what it is, but I'd rather play Pokemon Blue than the new ones here. So yeah, I think we're all pissed off and playing Palworld now. That's what's happening.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's like everybody who's just been like basically either pissed off from Web3 just waiting or pissed off from Pokemon from not innovating. And like you said, this just seems fun. I might play it this weekend. Maybe the next episode I'll give some more insight on it. But to swing this back into Web3 a little bit, I had a question for both of you. If Palworld came out and said, all right, so these pals, I guess you call them, these pals are going to be, NFTs on the blockchain. Would that help or hurt them?
Depends.
That definitely would have hurt them in this situation. Go ahead, sorry.
It depends because if you're
whoever.
just tracking the achievement of grabbing the NFT, kind of like how Pirate Nations does, where you just click the quest and then automatically throws out a transaction that's very inexpensive and they cover, then I guess it's nice to show people you have it on the chain, but it's really negligible the impact it would have. The only thing that would make sense for Palworld would be maybe a governance system, but then it would slow down development. I feel like Palworld's a game that just should not have Web3 on it. That's probably what it is.
Yeah, that's pretty much the exact same thing I was going to say. It would have only hurt them because including Web3 in your game is an uphill battle into proving to people that you're not a scam or just shit. And for them, the way the game is set up also on top of that, like Jesus was saying, it just doesn't make sense. There's no reason why that game... So like Web3 and NFT integration is like a quality of life fix, really, if you think about it. And when it comes to a game like Ark or Palworld, there's no reason to have that. Like you don't... Like a lot of the things are expendable to begin with, so...
But there are like gambling sites on games like Rust where they give away specific items for private servers. So there are already economies established established that have pseudo turned these things into NFTs. Not really, right? They just give out the assets and the servers reset eventually. So I could see an argument for it, but it's like you said, an uphill battle. And obviously it's way too early to get mass adoption on an NFT game. People are just going to clown it, right?
Yeah. I can't see an NFT game blowing up as quickly as Palworld did. But,
and especially with all the ties that they've had to Pokemon already, if there were any NFTs involved, it would be blown out of proportion compared to what it already is, which is bad. Like, people would be dying over it. So yeah.
This does give me some hope for. I mean, not hope. I have a lot of confidence in it. But for Illuvium, if people are seeing a new game that's similar to Pokemon, like a monster collector game, whatever you want to call it, like Illuvium should be a big hit if people are liking it. And I don't know if you just saw, literally 20 minutes ago, Nick posted a leak on X of some Illuvials running around in the overworld. And I just saw that and I was just like we need that. I hope we launch with them running around in the overworld.
Yeah, it's a barren wasteland over there right now.
Yeah. So I'm going to move on to the next segment here. This is something that I've tried to like correct people on this a lot, because I always see people posting, what is it, like CSGO or whatever, somebody losing their skins, and they're saying like, oh, you know, Web3 and NFT solves this problem. But like, does it really? Because if you get, say, a skin or an NFT in any Web3 game, that game can easily just like blacklist that NFT or just make it obsolete to their game, which essentially makes owning it worth.
You're making too much sense.
You're
making way too much sense right now. You're like you're giving the argument for someone that's actually in the crypto gaming space, which is what you just said, versus the people that are just in DeFi giving a reason for NFTs to have utility. You're 100% right. This is the most crazy argument I've ever seen. Yes, you can blacklist things. It's already been done. Think of Axie Infinity and all the people that botted, that got their Axies gulagged for 13 million years. Like, that's already a thing. Interoperability, also an uphill battle with NFTs because you have to integrate models for every game. It's just, why do people do that? Why do people say that?
I mean,
you're right.
It's a step in the right direction. It's definitely heading the right way, and it's getting closer to decentralization. And if you have a team or a project that's like Illuvium, they're a DAO, so technically the community can bring up proposals and change things. So it would be harder for a game like Illuvium to do that. I mean, it does happen, and there is an argument for it too. Like, if there is actual cheating involved in a Web3 game, like, do the people who have those NFTs deserve to have them? I'm not saying I have an answer for this situation, but it's just something that I don't think a lot of people, even in this community, fully understand. And they're making that argument with, you know, the Web2 gamers.
Send them to the gulag. That's what I say. The thing is that people see the Web3 gaming space is decentralized. They see Bitcoin as decentralized. To some extent it is, but I'd argue that Bitcoin is pretty damn centralized in the amount of people holding it. MicroStrategies, all these Bitcoin ETFs holding a very high concentration of the total supply. Crypto gaming companies as well, let's be honest, they've got a very high amount of team tokens. So the impact on governance, even AXS is a great key point on this one, because they were going to have governance back in 2021, and I think we're in 2024, right? So it's been quite some time. So these games can decide whenever the heck they want to give that access to people. They're very much centralized. And to be fair, they kind of deserve to be centralized. I don't really see a fully decentralized game coming out until the very, very far future. I don't know what we need in terms of technology to make it happen, but we are far from a truly decentralized ledger. So I don't think there's anything wrong with being highly centralized. The main utility for NFTs is just showing that, you know, you uniquely own this asset. It doesn't mean that you can't get completely destroyed and lose that asset and lose access to it. It just means you own it. So that could mean a lot of things. It could be digital IDs. So many reasons.
You can see the data of how many of those exist too. I think that's also something too. Like, if you get a skin in a Web2 game, I'm pretty sure you can't figure out how many total skins there are. And if you are, you're just you're relying on the game itself that they're not lying to you. Like, oh, there's 200,000, but you don't know how many.
That's the real point. Like, they could figure it out, but the fact that like you have this you can fact check them and they can't pull anything over on you, because
that's what it is.
That happens a lot in Web 2. Like, don't get me started, but yes, that's huge. The identification and being absolutely certain that something is happening the way that they're saying it is.
And how scarce it is for like a game like Illuvium. Like, when set 1 is done and you can't catch these original Illuvials anymore, we would be able to see on chain if Illuvium started like minting more of them. So that's also really good for the game too. Just being able to, like you said, fact check them,
That accountability.
keep them accountable.
Humble them, yeah. Let's
Yep.
go.
They work for us.
Well, yeah, kind of. It's at least a little bit more in our favor, which is good.
Yep.
Oh yeah, like big step in the right direction. That's what I like to see it as. Web3 gaming has a way to go. Maybe it'll be Web4 gaming before it's really
For gaming, maybe.
before it's really truly decentralized, but we're still ahead of the game for sure. But let's move on to this next topic here. So I want to talk a little bit about what makes for a successful gaming chain and like which ones are you excited about. I know there's a bunch out there. I'd say the top ones that I'm like familiar with would be like IMX, Ronin, GALA games, and then there's some of those other chains like AVAX and Polygon and Solana that like have a lot of games involved, but they're not necessarily specifically for games. What are your thoughts on that? Are there any, what are because they're all a little different. IMX from Ronin to GALA, like they're unique in a different way. So what are your thoughts on that, Jesus?
I like the idea of AVAX subnets. I mean, it seems like a lot of people are kind of going through with that idea. I mean, even Galachain is doing something called channels and workloads with Hyperledger Fabric, which the TLDR of it is it's very similar to what a subnet is on Avalanche, where all these chains have their own chains that they can manipulate in any way that they want. If they want to give access to people or not, it's just in full control of them. I love that idea. I think it's great. It's not seen in chains like Ethereum at all, which is the big advantage of building on something like an Avalanche subnet. So I love you. Another thing that is going to be huge is marketing, because I don't care how good your chain is. If nobody wants to use it, it's just not going to go. Because at this point, technology is getting there to the point where it doesn't really matter which chain you're on in terms of just speeds and workloads. Most of them are going to be able to handle what needs to be handled, because if they can't, they'll just kind of copy the other's technology and then be able to do it, which is what we've seen. That's why, transactions seconds to finality has gone down across the board drastically. On Solana, it's sub 5 seconds. On HBAR, the same. On Avalanche, on all these chains, it's the same. So I think the big breakthrough was subnets, because now all these different games can have their own specific chains utilizing the technology of these titans that already exist, like Avalanche.
Yeah, and like you said, when it comes to like marketing, I think that's the big reason why Ron has been outpacing everything these past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, I seem to see Ron
It's a no-brainer.
everywhere. Just like they're bringing in new projects. They're promoting their chain, being like, they just had another announcement recently about they're going to be like cross-chain compatible or something like that. I haven't looked too much into that yet. It seems like they're really pushing it, and I'm pretty excited to see how they go. Like when it comes to chains, IMX I'm a big fan of. Obviously, Illuvium's on it. Ron is my big.
They got the maxis. That's what they got. I
What
love
about
those
that?
maxis, dude. They're so passionate. That's what brings these chains forward. So much passion there. It's almost all the utility on the Ronin chain just comes from random people that had guilds or scholarships. They just decided one day, you know what, screw it, I'm building on Ronin. Then Ronin actually went ahead and supported them, which is something that can't be said with other chains. So I think it's really nice to see chains like Ronin get a lot more recognition. They deserve it. We've said it for a long time. We might not be uber bullish on Axie Infinity, but Ronin has been doing it right since day one, other than the hack, I guess, right?
Yeah. A lot of people, I think, still think of, they see Ronin and they just think of Axie. And I think that leaves a bad taste in some of their mouths.
It couldn't be further from the truth. Yeah.
But people are noticing now that it's a lot more than just Axie. And I think that's why the money's flowing in right now and it's pumping up.
I mean,
Jimbo,
they have the
any
best
thoughts on that?
decentralized exchange in crypto.
Here for games, so I'm not really good on this topic. I'll be real.
Yeah.
IMX looks good because it has Illuvium. That's all I got.
Yeah. Yeah, and I haven't looked too much into the actual games on Ronin. Like, man, I'm just more just hoping for the success of the chain itself. I started in Axie, still have a ton of Axies. Not sure if they're worth anything at this point. That's where I am now. I'm not playing any games on Ronin. Maybe I'll find one in the future and get into it a little bit more. I'm just excited about what they're doing as a gaming chain right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you're into Illuvium, you should play Aperion. It's like a very direct comparison, kind of, where you choose people on your team, and then you have specific skills for that, and you just fight the other person. So it's almost a direct comparison. They have a PvP going on right now. They're giving out an airdrop, the Anima airdrop. So if you're into Illuvium, you should probably check that game out. I've been playing Pixels more, though. Pixels is like the no-brain hyper casual game. That's just the fun one for me.
I haven't gotten too much into Pixels yet, though. When the berry token came out, I saw like an opportunity to do some staking. So I made a video on how to stake. Was it Berry and Ron in the liquidity pool? And that's been one of my videos that like I'm consistently getting views every day for the past like 3 months because people are finding it and they're like, oh, let me get into that pool. A lot of berry being created, I guess, in Pixels
It's true.
and sold and bought. I don't really know too much about the ecosystem. That has been making me some money, and I'm excited for where their Pixel token is going to be coming out soon. I'm sure they're going to have some staking or maybe some farming for that too. So let's move on to this last topic here. Obviously, we are here in 2024 right now, and I feel like this is the year that all of these projects have been building, been waiting for 2024. The Bitcoin halving is coming. They know things are getting more bullish. This is when all these games are going to launch. If you launch in 2025, you're late to the party. If you launched in 2023 or earlier, you were pretty much too early. 2024 is the time to launch. What are your guys' like favorite upcoming games, or what are you most excited about for 2024? I'll give mine real quick before I pass it on to you. Obviously, Illuvium. We're expecting that in probably early Q2, hopefully. Kind of delays. We're hoping for early Q2. Mavia is one of my next big plays. They already announced that they are going into their what they're calling global release, so they're fully on chain and ready to go in less than a week. It's going to be January 31st, and they're on. And
That's gonna be nice.
I'm very excited about them. A week after that, on February 6th, I think they're dropping their Mavia token. We're still waiting on more details about that, but I'm pretty excited about those two. And then also one more I wanted to throw in here that I hadn't talked about much before is Blankos. So Blankos Block Party, something that I got into very early in 2021. I know they recently just shut down their PC version because they're ready to roll out a mobile version. I have some of those early Blankos. They're going to be on mobile, on iOS, on Android at some point, and definitely going to look into that a little bit more. Jesus, what do you got? What are you most excited for in this 2024?
Well, Mavia is an obvious one, right? If we're very short-sighted, then Mavia is the no-brainer. Clash of Clans, make it better, make it blockchain. Come on, it's gonna be great. Other than that, I'm kind of big into the FPS games. I don't know what it is, but Shrapnel, Off the Grid, Dead Drop. Even though people are like fighting Dead Drop, I like Dead Drop. I played Dead Drop and I had fun playing it, so I'm gonna defend it. I don't care. Illuvium's okay. I'm not an auto battler person. I know the team, very passionate. I love them. They're very nice people, but it ain't me. It ain't me. Auto battler ain't me. So I'll probably pass on that one for the most part. Colony is going to be very interesting from Echelon Prime. Hopefully that comes out and that's something interesting, AI-based game. I know Society, hopefully we get some cool stuff on Mirandus. They're supposed to start persistent playtests with their Materium rewards, so we'll see where that ends up going. But too many titles. We could talk all day about titles, but that'll be the few.
Yeah, there are a ton. I've been hearing Miranda's for a while on GALA, right? That's going to be like their big game GALA.
Yeah, their
pushing
flagship.
Out. Yeah. And then, there's a ton of FPS like shooters out there. I've always honestly just sucked at those games. I played Halo and Call of Duty growing up with my brother and friends, and I kill to death ratio, let's say, was never very good. So like I'm not looking forward too much to those games. It's exciting to see them come out. I think it's good for Web3 gaming, but those are probably the ones I'm going to pass on just because like I know I'm not going to be that good at them. But Jimbo, what do you think? I know obviously Illuvium is a big one for you too. Anything else you're looking at?
Yeah, Illuvium's gonna be huge. I mean, I focus on like singular games and become really obsessed with them. So Illuvium's gonna be absolutely huge, and I think it's gonna do really good this year. I'm kind of an NFT game hater, I'll be honest. I think a lot of Web3 games are absolutely dog shit, but like you were saying, I think this year is actually going to be a turning point, in my opinion, on that. And I think one of the games that I've been looking at recently, and I've been following them for a while now, ever since their tournament, is Sparkball. It looks really good, and I've played it. It was absolutely incredible. It's set up really well for esports. It's kind of like what's the game with the cars that drive around? It's
Rocket
like
League.
soccer. Yeah, it's like Rocket League, except you have like these champions, like in League of Legends that you use with your other teammates. So I think that's a really cool game, and that is looking really good. The problem is though, is I put a message in their Discord a couple of days ago seeing where they're at. And so they're still chugging along, but they're light on funds. So it seems like they're having some trouble getting some money. So
Uh-oh.
if you're rich, go ahead and give them money. I don't think it'll be a bad investment because the game's extremely fun. So it really does bum me out to hear that. But as far as I know, that response tells me that there's no work being done. That's what I hear when I read that. I could be wrong, and I
Not
hope
wrong.
I'm wrong.
You're really not wrong.
Yeah, it sucks though because it's such a good game. It is honestly probably the best Web3 game I've found outside of Illuvium, easily. If you have money, give it to them, please.
Yeah.
I want to play that game.
I'm still waiting for some project to come out with a Super Smash Bros. Clone. 'Cause my Web 2 play, like gaming days, Smash Bros. Was my number one game for a long time. Actually, most of my life, it was probably my favorite game. So I'm ready for a game to come out like that. Imagine just all a platform fighting, whatever you want to call that. It's just Web3 gaming characters from, you have some alluvials instead of the Pokemon.
That'd be
And
sick.
Titanborn. Look at
Titanborn?
Titanborn. Yeah, it's a fighting game. They have the blockchain element on it. They have a bunch of characters. I remember that game. Yeah, I haven't heard of it in months, but it does exist. It just is an active development. We'll see where that ends up going, right? They probably don't have a lot of funds either.
Yeah,
See, we haven't
and-
heard of them in a while, but I remember that there was a fighting game there. AI Arenas, I know, is doing something as well, but it's not as serious as Smash, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works, but they have that going there as well. And there was a Crypto Fight Club or something like that. They look like box
Galaxy Fight Club?
characters. Something
Yeah, I think it was-
like
I think it
that,
was
I think it was that.
Galaxy Fight Club. Because I remember asking around and somebody pointed me to them, and I was just like, this is not
It
what I
ain't
was
the
looking.
same. It ain't the same.
No, it's not the same.
Uh,
But yeah, when you talk about these games with lack of funding, I've been telling people for the past 2 years, like, if a game can get through these next 2 years, this bear market, they're gonna come out and they're gonna be successful. But
Let's
there's
survive.
gonna be a lot that don't make it. Some that I was involved in, I don't even want to say which ones right now, that have just like gone to their Discord and nobody responds anymore. So it just looks like a dead game. So some of them didn't make it. I'm glad number one bet, Illuvium, making it. And these other projects that are popping up, like Mavia, I'm pretty excited about that. 2024 is going to be real good, and it's going to be good for this podcast we have going on here. We talked a lot about Illuvium, obviously. I want to start talking about some of these other games that are coming out. That pretty much concludes this episode here. Thank you so much for joining. You definitely brought some energy here that I don't have. Jimbo sometimes brings it. Sometimes he's just tired.
Yeah, it is what it is.
the boomer energy.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, right. I mean, I'm old. I'm in my
Gotta
mid
go
30s
golfing
now.
or something. I don't know. Gotta figure it out.
I'm into that disc golf. I don't play regular golf, but I play some disc golf.
Respect.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
Hopefully
Nice
we'll
to
start
see you.
playing games by the end of this year, right?
True.
I'm gonna be playing too many games. I'm gonna be spending too much time on my computer.
This is
But-
good. This is good.
It's winter right now. It's cold. It's snowy out where I am. So now's the time to play before it gets warm for the
Yep.
summer. Yeah. So I will leave some links down below for the Creator Awards, and I'll leave links to YouTube channels and X accounts. Whatever you need if you want to go find Jesus. I'm sure a lot of you know who he is already. Anyways, everybody knows who Jimbo is. Jimbo, any last words?
Ready to head out. And again, Jesus, thanks for coming on. It was fun.
That was fun.
Jesus?
Wind Moon. Yeah, it was great.
All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you later.
Bye.